Hello everyone, this is Sam with RTS Guru here today to give you a little video on the new champion Hecarim, and note a few things that weren't really pointed out in the spotlight by Freak. Hecarim is the league's newest melee fighter champion, whose uniqueness is his ability to move through units at very high speeds and still do a lot of damage. The main thing to note is that his landing phase and his jungle aren't terribly powerful early on in the game. You're going to want to play somewhat defensively against a very powerful matchup like Vlad, Cho'Gath, the old Aurelia, things like that. Olaf and Warwick and other powerful top laners will give you a lot of trouble, but in pub situations where you could take advantage of the enemy's inability to succeed in their play, you can definitely take him top lane and beat anybody almost. Another thing to note is that you're going to want to pick runes and early game items that either directly counter your enemy or play to your strengths. So Moonspeed Quince and I feel Armor Pen are some of the best choices there. An interesting thing to note is that he has a lot of mobility similarly to Shyvana. His ultimate, when timed correctly, can be a very powerful escape mechanism along with Devastating Charge. One thing to note is that his Devastating Charge does have this very odd bug that could get him stuck in terrain. And that's one reason I like to take Flash right now, just because it opens up a lot more possibilities to survive and set up additional knockbacks with his Devastating Charge. One of the most important things about Hecarim is to know when to use his ultimate. Not only does it do a lot of damage and displace the enemy team, but the reverse fear, or flee, is extremely powerful, and it's very hard to peel Hecarim off of important targets because of his flee, his inability to be stopped by unit collision, and his incredible move speed. Right here I'm just going to demonstrate how long the range in Onslaught of Shadows really is. Easily jumps over a large portion of the wall and secures a kill right before the surrender. Now, Hecarim can also be used as a jungler. I prefer him as a top lane. One thing I don't like about a jungle is pre-6, his ganks aren't the best. Better than most, yes, but if you don't watch out how you use Devastating Charge, it can easily knock you into a poor position. Second time we had the ultimate, and despite a flash attempt by Annie, we actually secure the kill with the incredibly long range on Onslaught of Shadows. Another thing to note about his jungle is that his Q, Rampage, which is a PB AoE nuke, resets his auto attack timer. So if you're timing Rampage correctly, either in top lane or in jungle, you could vastly increase the DPS. Another important thing to note, and a skill that will separate extremely good Hecarims from just average Hecarims, will be how people use his Spirit of Dread. Spirit of Dread is capped in how much it heals against minions, only 180 at the max level. Against champions though, and any other champion target in an AoE, there's no max. You just heal for 30% of any damage done, be it from turrets, minions, yourself, or allies. So a good Hecarim, as noted here, will time Spirit of Dread to just heal for the maximum amount at the most clutch moments and be able to live through incredibly difficult situations. Right here we'll see that all of his abilities combined give him incredible chasing power. It's extremely difficult to get away from Hecarim, who has an ult as well as Devastating Charge, and the damage he can put out early game, if built right and runed right, is enormous. So right here we'll see that, this Hecarim doesn't really time his Spirit of Dread that well. Almost no enemies caught on it, and he's not really in a good position to fight. However, he pops the ultimate right there to get into the middle. People push the range, carry away, force the ult by Shen. He actually turns the battle around for his team. The only person who's lost is a support Lux, who isn't too consequential at this point in the game. Hecarim overall may feel extremely similar to Shyvana, but he has some key issues that are a little bit different. His ultimate, very similar, again, goes through terrain, does a lot of damage, more damage than Shyvana's, has an extremely powerful CC on it. His sustain damage can vary from lower to more depending on how he builds. Unlike a lot of other fighters, Hecarim has the ability to build just pure out damage items if he so chooses because his base stats are so high. His base health is enormous, and with only a few points in the defensive masteries and maybe some runes, he can build items like Wit's End, Atma's Impaler, Wriggles, just a Phage, not even a Frozen Mallet, and just wreak havoc. As far as other items go like Trinity Force, Force of Nature, focusing on movement speed with Swiftness Boots, it is possible, but the most important part of his passive is the fact that it synergizes with his kit and giving him just free damage, more like a glue rather than a sticking point, and the fact that it gives him unit collision, which is really one of his most impressive abilities, the fact that you can't peel him that well. Hopefully everything you've seen today gave you a little more information on Hecarim, and you can feel a bit better about where you're going and what you're doing with him. Just remember, always build to counter what your enemy is doing. Keep in mind what you're capable of, what they're capable of, and you'll surely succeed. Thanks for watching, everyone. Please leave some tips and comments below if you have anything to say, and feel free to play Hecarim to great success in the fields of justice. Have a good one, Summoners.